in Egypt, which has left more than 30 people dead and dozens more injured. Well, joining me now is His Grace Bishop Angaelos. He's the General Bishop of the Coptic Orthodox Church here in the UK. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And more details when we're getting in over the number of people who have died. It looks like at least 37 people, dozens more injured, as I mentioned there, targeting Coptic Christians. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's quite a sad day. Of course, any loss of life at any time is tragic, but on a day like this, when it's supposed to be a day of celebration, particularly for families going to church and praying like Christians all around the world, it's inconceivable that at a time of vulnerability, when people are gathered in churches, that this unexpected event happens, and in two places. Our hearts are also with the security services who lost their lives. Their families are also grieving when they stopped another bomber who tried to access a church in Alexandria.
I mean, you say it is unexpected. However, IS have claimed responsibility for all these attacks, and they've warned of many attacks targeting the Coptic Christians.
That's true. We had a bombing of a church in the cathedral precincts in Cairo a couple of months ago. We've had a spate of attacks on individuals as well. ISIS did come out and said that Coptic Christians were their arch enemy for one reason or another, considering that Coptic Christians are the biggest Christian grouping in the Middle East, probably about 15% of the Egyptian population, about 80% of all the Christians in the Middle East, yet have never taken up arms, have never reacted aggressively or violently, and yet still they happen to find themselves on the receiving end of these attacks.
And what then your thoughts on the day that these attacks took place, on Palm Sunday, the day that actually the leader of the Coptic Church in Egypt was attending one of those churches that was targeted? It was aimed to carry out as much damage as possible.
Well, that's right. It is aimed for maximum exposure and maximum effect. But as I said, this then is a very willing and targeted action focused on women, children, men who are gathered as families. And His Holiness Pope Tawadros, the head of the church, was praying the liturgy at St. Mark Cathedral in Alexandria, but thankfully nothing happened there when the bomber was stopped outside. But it really is quite heartless, and my only plea would be that anyone who does this, whether it's here in Westminster or in Sweden or anywhere else, in Egypt included, that they recognize the humanity of these people who are dying, and the fact that they are family members who will leave grieving families, who will leave orphans, who will leave grieving and broken communities. It really is unbelievable that there be this extent of inhumanity in a single action that is causing this much pain.
Okay, His Grace Bishop Angaelos, I'm really good talking to you this afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us.